If we get it, we get it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Do you need to stand in front of the camera? Okay.
That could really cause some fun. Let's start.
So we're live. I had a
So we
live
make
stream.
Sandra a co-host. She's gonna be a co-host,
Yeah.
and she's gonna be on top of doing the entry. All right. So yeah, here we go. No, here, just go to her dots. You can just go right there.
Right.
3 dots. Make co-host. Make co-host. Okay.
And then she can start.
All right, Sandra, you should be good. You should be good to make her to let people in now.
Okay, it looks like somebody else
I can't hear you. Wait, hold on. Hey. Yes, you have it as a proxy. Proxy. Oh, there's Susan Bola. There's Susan Bola. She's 2-3. 2-3. Yeah, I'll take on Jack. Real barn burner of a race. Oh, they better go with another improvement in the official meeting. Let's say yes.
Well, that's a little bit of very. And what is consensus? According to the Bible. See how they voted, and then look at the bigger part. Right? Process. They vote, they either recommend or don't recommend. They can't get 67% in this case, then there's no vote at all. That's gotta be. Process. And they only need three. Right. Is there a minimum number? 40%, 40% score. Well, yeah. 40% score, like 80%. So they need. Now. Right. I thought that. All right, yeah, well, it's up to the next day.
Go for it now. I'm gonna try and start moving on. We're gonna be like, oh, yeah, this is what it's camera is.
Oh, good, thank you. 3 times. Appreciate that. It's like wakes me up at night. When like I don't get a response, that's when I remember it. I'm like.
I thought you were afraid to ask you. Okay.
There's still 3-3, there's no. Right.
All right,
Okay. Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes, but please start making your way to your seats. Committee people are going to be in the front section, along with candidates. Everybody else that asked you to be in the back. All right, about 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to get started. It's going to be a cat. All right, 1 more minute, folks. I'm really going to ask you to sit down and be quiet. So 1 more minute. Yeah, thank you, Ken. Thank you. Everyone, please start making your way to your seats. Please start making your way to your seats. All right, I'm going to ask everyone to please start to make your way to your seats. Even those in the back, please start making your way to your seats. Okay, Evan, so committee people, please come to the front section. I was looking at you, Evan. All right. All right.
So then first would be.
Shannon, and they'll see, they'll just. Yes, I can get it. So I don't.
Market one that's in CDC control. Yeah. All right, everyone, can I ask you please to take your seats? And also, I need you guys to, everyone to try to be quiet. We have some folks participating on Zoom, and they're not gonna be able to hear through the speakers if everyone's talking. All right, please ask everyone to please quiet down. I ask everyone to please quiet down. Okay? All right, thank you. I want to call our March DCLMN endorsement meeting to order. I'm going to ask again, anyone who is a committee person, please sit in the front section. Anyone who is not, and candidates over to the right in the front section. Anyone who's not a committee person sitting in the front or not a proxy, I would ask you to please move to the back section. Thank you. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So everyone join me in that. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thanks, everyone. Before we get to the actual agenda, I just want to thank all the candidates, the committee people, everyone involved. I know it's been a long number of weeks where we've been talking to folks, participating in forums, trying to get information about folks. And I really appreciate everyone's hard work and diligence. I know there's been, some contentiousness out there. And I hope that, we can come together after this meeting and after this primary, because we have a big task in front of us to retain our Supreme Court judges in the fall. But to the business at hand tonight, I'm going to ask Carrie Halpern to come up and give us our treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report is that the balance in the account is very good right now, especially going into our spring gala. We have currently about $25,000 on hand. All right.
All right. All right, next order of business. I just wanted to welcome 4 new committee people. First to Ehrenberg in the first ward, Maggie Taylor also in the first ward, Avi Kofler in the 6th ward, and Jessica Goodman in the 11th ward. So welcome to DCLMN. Thank you. Just a quick over. Mark, we have a little bit of an echo here, or delay.
That's him.
Yeah, maybe you might have to be there to. Maybe mute that at the moment. All right, that's better. Quick overview, the primary to date, and some other announcements. Just wanted to note that we filed in all we have candidates filing it, and we'll vote on them later tonight in all of the commissioner races in Lower Merion other than the 10th ward. We obviously have a number of school board candidates, folks running in Narberth Borough Council, tax collector for Lower Merion and Narberth. All these races were not contested, so they might not have gotten, other than the school board, have gotten as much attention as the 14th ward and the mayor of Narberth. But just a really big thanks to everyone who helped gather petitions. We also, from a county-wide perspective, gathered the most signatures of any county for the statewide judges, which was very impressive. We're obviously only the 3rd biggest county, so and Lower Merion was a big part of that. So again, thank you. Thanks for coming out to all the different events we had for petition gathering. I know the candidates here all appreciate that because I think they got a lot of their petitions through that method. One other announcement, I sent it around already. Next week, if you feel like you want to take a trip out to Lancaster County, there is a state Senate special election. I sent out the Zoom, there's a link to do phone banking, but there was also a link to sign up to actually help out. So if you're interested, I will make sure I send those links again tomorrow. And I would encourage you that if you have some free time to try to go out there. Obviously, we took a step back in the state Senate in the last cycle. It's a chance to kind of at least get back to where we were before. Next, I'd like to ask up our newly, or not so newly, but somewhat newly minted finance chair, Zeke Taylor. I had him sit way in the back. I apologize, Zeke, to talk a little bit about our spring mixer.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zeke. I am the newly elected finance chair for the Lower Merion Democratic Committee. Super excited that I took over this role. Our spring mixer is May 4th this year, which is a Sunday. It's going to be at the Kinwood Club, which is where it was last year. And the theme is the fight is local. Okay, I know everyone is really upset and angry about what's happening in Congress, but there's a lot we can do locally. Okay, we have very important elections happening this year. This is why you're all here tonight, because school boards are important, commissioners are important, judges are important, tax collectors are important. These all matter. And the money that we raise this May 4th will help get that messaging out there, because we do have, as Jeff Scott said, 3 very important Democratic Supreme Court justices to retain. And that's not going away. We know that certain very, very wealthy people in this country are going to be pouring money into Pennsylvania to try and take those judgeships away from us. So I really hope to see you all there. I'm excited about it. There'll be some good food, maybe some buffet food this year. And so thank you so much. I hope to see you there. Stay tuned. The Act Blue will be out soon.
All right. Thank you, Zeke. I think it's going to be a great event, so I hope everyone can come out and you'll hear more about it soon. I would ask now, in order to assist me this evening, I was going to ask for a motion to appoint Rob Paul as a parliamentarian. Would Kathy Wilson, I have a second. Sarah Atkinson. I'd ask for show of hand. Again, when we're doing these votes, these are just committee people and proxies. No candidates could vote. I'm just reminding everyone when we do the voice votes, no candidates could vote unless you're a committee person, and no members of the general public. So I've just asked committee people and their proxies to do votes.
I let someone know that we lost the feed for everyone who's here on Zoom.
Thank you. How do we vote on Zoom? Just raising the hand?
I think there'll be a Google form or something.
I think you'll be sent a method so you can vote online.
Thank you.
And I've been told that they're working on the connection. For people who are just getting here, we lost the connection and they're working on it.
Anybody know any good jokes?
I do, but they'll take too long to tell. Hopefully they'll be back.
Did they hurt us? All right, I'm gonna try this again. Folks on Zoom, the motion on the floor is to make Rob Paul the parliamentarian. Can I please get an indication with using the raise hand function of committee people or their proxies if they are in favor of the motion? And then once we do that, I can get the folks in the room to do it. Okay, now everyone in the room, please raise your hand if you're in favor of the motion. All right, the opinion of the chair, the motion passes. All right, thank you. Not an inauspicious start to this meeting, but we'll continue to plow ahead here. Gigi, are we not ready for a treasurer's report? Okay, so I'm going to give a quick report on the rules, then we'll get a quorum report, and then if there's any amendments to the rules, we will discuss them at that point. Okay. The rules committee. We had three folks that stepped up to be on the rules committee: Sarah Tarlow, Jordan Rand, and Beth Fenton. And I really want to thank them first off for putting in the effort and time to work on this. The starting place for the rules this year was the rules from 2023, which, if everyone recalls, or those of you who have been here for a couple of years, recalls that was coming after a kind of long discussion we had about how we should conduct the primary process. Sure, we need additional discussions now after this year, but the idea was, okay, let's take the embodiment of those rules from 2 years ago and pull them forward. And for instance, we wanted to have and this was a big point of discussion 2 years ago, a do not endorse option on the ballot. That's something that we pulled forward here. The idea was to make as few changes as possible from the rules 2 years ago. Unfortunately, I became aware at the last minute, as folks know, that our proposed rules were not in conformity with the MCDC rules. And therefore, we were required, because we are a sub part of the county committee, and we have to abide by the MCDC rules. We cannot have rules that are different than the MCDC bylaws. We were required to change or amend our proposed rules to be in conformity. In particular, the MCDC bylaws require within a district, so the committee people in one district, say one ward, the 5th ward, requires 60% of those committee people to be in favor of endorsement in order for MCDC to recognize that endorsement and put that person on the sample ballot. That's according to the MCDC solicitor, that's a floor. We're allowed to add additional requirements as long as they don't conflict with the MCDC bylaws. So we're allowed to also have our requirement that the committee as a whole also endorse, is in favor of that endorsement at a rate of 60% as well, as it says in our bylaws. So this is obviously a change from the practice before. The proposed rules that's been around today change the DCLMN proposed rules as little as possible to conform. But like I said, I am not free to have a rule that conflicts with the MCDC bylaws. So that's where we're at with the rules. Do we have a quorum report, Gigi?
Yes, we have form. I'm working on getting the exact number.
Okay, so way over quorum. Phyllis, you have a question? Yes.
The
Yes.
email that we sent 5 minutes to 2.
Yes.
There's abstract from the rules.
So why don't you come up, if you have a long question, why don't you come up here, because the people on Zoom can't hear you. I'm sorry? They can't hear you on the Zoom though, sorry, Phyllis, we don't have a.
No, it doesn't issue.
Email that Jeff sent out to committee people this afternoon at 5 minutes to 2 with abstracts from the MCDC bylaws. It seems to me that it refers to, it's talking about Narberth. And that one thing that we need to be aware of is that many of the areas in the Montgomery County Democratic Committee are comprised of multiple municipalities. We are one of the very few, I believe, that has Lower Merion and Narberth, just one, a big township and a wonderful borough. But that many township in the county. But the other areas are comprised of like 3 or 4, I don't really know exactly, but many municipalities. So this rule makes sense in terms of those areas where there's a municipality that's electing their township commissioners and another one electing their supervisors, please let me finish, and another one who's electing their mayor and their borough council members.
No, those, wrap it up. If you want to make an amendment to the rules, we could do that. We could debate the amendment. So
I wanted to ask a question. That's what I had said I wanted to do.
Okay. Then you have to ask the question.
Well, first, people need to understand what I'm talking about.
You're asking why does it apply to Ward 14 as well as Narberth?
So I'm an adult.
Okay.
I want to
All right.
present myself. Okay.
So we're gonna hear all night if you got.
Yes, I realize that.
Okay. So you have to ask the question.
So my sense is that while this rule makes sense in those areas of Montgomery County Democratic Committee in which there are many different municipalities, and it makes sense for those committee people in their own municipality to have the first dibs, the main say in who their candidates are. That is not the case with Ward 14, which is one part, obviously, of the whole township. And that the township commissioner serves the whole entire township.
What's the question? This is a speech.
It doesn't really seem to me that this applies to our situation with Ward 14.
Okay, that's a statement, not a question. Thank you for the statement. All right.
Does it apply?
So in my reading of it, it does apply. I'll read the bylaw section. Endorsements for the may only be made by qualified electors of MCDC or subordinate body, and this is the relevant clause, must be voted on by a minimum of 60% of the qualified electors otherwise able to vote for a candidate for any election. To me, that doesn't segregate out, one area or another. So to me, it applies to, I think it's pretty plain, it applies to any kind of smaller portion of Lower Merion. If you, and you guys are, I'm gonna rule any amendment on it out of order because it's gonna be against, not consistent with NCDC's bylaws. You're able to then, I guess, appeal you can appeal up to the MCDC exec if you think I'm wrong. I don't know what to tell you. Now, we're not saying, you guys we can make amendments to the rules. If you guys want to make an amendment to the rules, we could do so.
Could you tell me where in the bylaws that section is?
Yeah, section, yes, that I could do. It's Rule 8, Section 8.
Does not appear.
Section 8 is not in what you sent out.
There's 7 and there's 9, but
The
there's no
link
8.
that you have in your email does not include section 8.
The link I have in my email, I didn't include the link to the MCDC bylaws in my email. Okay, okay, so I'm saying that what I just read you is from the MCDC bylaws, not from the proposed rules for this for this meeting. Sorry if that was unclear. So. Rob, you gotta come up here, and my ruling is that if you guys want to make an amendment, well, first of all, they haven't made an amendment, so let's wait. Okay, well, you respond to the comment, but I think after that we can make an amendment.
From a parliamentary perspective, it seems to me that MCDC, I mean, if someone hadn't gone to MCDC and forced the issue in the last couple of days.
No, that doesn't matter.
But it's now clear what MCDC's position is, and that's my
Right.
and then we're bound by it.
Okay.
That's my problem.
Okay.
Here, one word.
Yes. Well, it depends what it is. I can repeat it if it's quick.
It's not.
Okay, come on.
It's not long, either, but.
Fine.
Mr. Chair, esteemed members of the committee, I'd like to make a motion, number 1, with regard to the Mayor of Narberth's endorsement vote, that the Narberth committee members hold a separate vote for that endorsement prior to the vote of the entire committee. I think it's important that our voices are heard on our representation so that you can hopefully ratify whatever decisions we make as a local committee. Additionally, I would like to make a motion that we have
One motion at one motion at a time. Do I have a second for that motion? All right. Any discussion of that motion? Well, James, do you want to speak in favor first, and then Bob, you want to speak in favor or opposed to it, Bob?
I didn't understand what you said.
Sorry.
No, what you just said. You asked.
I said, are you speaking in favor or opposed to?
I am discussing.
You want to discuss? Okay.
The vote is baked in. There's no need to amend. We are going to vote tonight on an endorsement as the committee of North.
We're effectively losing our ability to tell our fellow committee members who do not live here what we want as a local community by doing it contemporaneously. I understand your position, and that would check the boxes, I suppose, but it really disenfranchises our voice to the greater committee.
If you want to do it prior to the bigger vote.
Yes.
That's what he's at. That's the amendment.
Yes.
Sorry, let me clear. So the amendment is to take the Narberth vote ahead of the larger vote. Is any other discuss? Sorry, let me just.
No, go ahead.
Any other discussion on this?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
James Craig, Narberth 1 committee person.
All right. Any other discussion on that vote? On that amendment? I'm going to take a voice vote on this one. And those in Zoom land, please use the raise hand feature for those who are committee people. Same thing here, committee people and proxy. We are voting on to amend. Sorry. Great question. We're voting to amend section M of the rules. Right now, the rules say that we would do one vote, the entire committee, which we would have the two thresholds. One for the 6 Narberth committee people and one for the whole committee. What we're amending it to is 2 separate votes that we're going to vote. The 6 Narberth committee people are going to vote first before the entire committee, if there is a result there that's worth putting to the entire committee, we will then do that. Otherwise, that will be the end. Yes. No, right now, this is the process. This is just for Narberth. This is just rule in. Oh, sorry, does this reply, what was the amendment, which I just explained, and then the other question was this, is just Narberth, or also Ward 14, it is just Narberth, because rule in, you guys didn't all memorize the rule sections, the rule in just applies to Narberth. Okay.
One question.
Right.
I understand the concern from Narberth that we would be out voicing
Yeah.
people in Narberth. But if the vote or the endorsement can only go through if it's an agreement with the representatives from Narberth, isn't that not true? So meaning that like, if the city says one thing, but the people in Narberth said another, then there wouldn't be an endorsement. So effectively, we aren't out voicing.
We aren't, but I think they just want to go first, right? So the question was, does it really matter because we can't force an endorsement on them? No, but I think I think from a representation perspective, I think that Narberth would like to go first. Did you want to respond to that?
It matters because then the rest of the committee knows how we felt about it.
Okay, fair enough. Bob's a better advocate for Narberth there. So Bob answered that then the rest of the committee knows how Narberth feels.
Great.
All right. So again, I'm going to ask for a voice vote. Oh, Nancy, did you want to speak on this? Oh, I want to ask for a voice vote. Those who are in favor in the room, or committee people or proxies, please raise your hand. Those on Zoom, please use the raise hand feature. All right, the opinion of the chair, the motion passes.
There's 7 on Zoom.
Yeah, but I think we already got, unless they're all voting against it. Oh, yeah, we're at like 50 for, yeah, so.
73 people.
Yeah, so, yes, so we just need 50, so motions, by the way, motions to amend the rules are 50%, or majority, 50% plus 1. Motion, obviously, different than what endorsements are. You had a second, so sorry, Adrian, you had a second motion to make.
I'm sorry.
The second motion is to conduct prior to the candidate endorsement vote for Narberth, that the Narberth committee, given the acrimony of the election and in order to attempt to avoid any further issues and bring our community together, that we have a vote on whether to hold an open primary or not, with the over 51 or 50% threshold in just this race.
I'm gonna. I'll allow the motion. Sure. Okay. So do we have a second on that one?
Can you repeat the motion?
The motion is to before the vote on because Narberth mayor, the Narberth committee people would do a vote on an open primary or not, yes or no on an open primary.
Get that option first before you vote.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And
so we have a second. Do we have anyone who wants to speak on that motion? Rebecca.
So if you have this first open primary, yes or no? The answer is no. So then someone has to win.
then
No, it has to be. The second vote has to be by 60%. There has to be 4 votes to endorse.
Correct.
4 votes have to endorse. So it has to be 60%.
Like, yes, our vote's different, but we should be voting consistently that it is a one candidate, other candidate, open.
Let me, Bob, did you want to speak?
Can I guess what the vote is?
certainly, hopefully we can avoid any further acrimony in the committee, in the local community.
So couldn't we do that? Because right now the choice of the committee to vote is for one of the two candidates or an open primary. So why don't we just vote once?
Yeah.
And we have that option to vote as for an open primary. I don't understand what, and so I don't understand. Because then, because then you're taking away the open primary vote's ability to influence the overall vote.
But we're making it a greater likelihood that an open primary is voted for by lowering the vote threshold to 51%. Oh, sorry.
It's the same. This is
Yeah,
4-4.
I realized what I said when I was saying it. Realistically, this is Robert's rules. This is just trying to conform it to Robert's rules.
I want to bring the point of having to endorse as one of the three options for, let me finish, I see the face. One of the three,
But that's a different amendment.
does, yeah.
Okay, so you wanted to speak on this amendment?
Yes.
Okay.
By having, I choose not to endorse as part of the, vote for two candidates. You are giving, I vote not to endorse very much more power because mathematically, all right, one candidate can get 50% of the vote, another candidate can get 45% of the vote, and do not endorse can get 5% of the vote and win. So it doesn't have the same threshold. So you're comparing apples and oranges.
Okay.
If I could respond, I neglected to state that if we do not, as Narberth committee, based upon the prior motion, if we do not hit 60%, it is going to be a de facto open primary anyways. The amendments on the floor.
I understand. Withdraw the amendment?
I mean, don't we have a second?
We do, but we can still withdraw an amendment. I'm just asking for the sake of like, because I think Adrian wants to make another amendment about this again.
Okay.
Or table the amendment to see what happens with that.
We can table the amendment. And if
Okay.
anyone else wants to speak on it at that point, they can.
Okay.
too.
Adrian, did you want to make another amendment on what you were talking about more generally? I just want to understand, because like, if we're gonna vote on this and then we're gonna vote on that, like,
No, mine is like a point of information.
okay,
I would like to know how many committee people got saw the change of the rules in their email before the meeting.
because of the MCDC conformity?
Yes, how many saw that? I mean, people are coming here and not necessarily understanding the difference.
Listen, it's not like I sought that out, Adrian. It was sent to me late last night. And we can't have an endorsement if Adrian wanted to know how many people saw the change of rules that had to be sent out this afternoon. And it seemed like a decent amount of people saw them, Adrian, and I can't do anything. I mean, my hands are tied. I can't listen. Yeah, okay. Okay.
I just wanted to say that some people saw it, some people didn't, some people read it thoroughly, some people didn't. But Jeff is the chair of our committee, of our party here in Lower Merion Harbor, and I have a certain level of trust that he knows what he's doing. And he should carry on and continue, and let's move on.
Deborah. All right. So Deborah is okay. That's all right. Anyway, all right, Deborah. That's not a real point of order. So, all right. So Deborah was responding to that and saying I didn't know what I was doing. All right. If I summarize. James, did you want to? Okay, I thought Adrian was gonna make a motion that would be potentially conflicting with your motion. There is okay.
I'd like to leave the motion out there for votes.
Yeah, yes, and Nancy, you want to speak to it? And then Bob, I know you want to speak to it. Why don't you come up here though, because I think, I'm sorry, because of Zoom, we got people come up here.
So you're not tabling it, it's the motion to vote for an open primary first.
Correct.
So this is a question, I guess, to Jeff or you. I thought one of our huge purposes is to endorse. And I don't, like, I understand you don't want animosity, but that could be said for all the races. And I don't think when there's animosity, it means we have to have an open primary. I mean, it's confusing to me. Why is this different from our goal to endorse?
Thank you. That's a great question.
Bob,
Right.
sorry. Bob's next.
So if you vote for an open primary separate from the other vote, is the subsequent vote, when the open primary fails, then the next vote does not have open primary as a choice. Therefore, we're forcing people to vote for a candidate in that second round or give up their right to vote. And that should be against the rules and not even be allowed to be voted on. That is contrary to the rules. That's not a motion that's legitimate. The chair should reject the motion.
I appreciate that, Bob. I would say that, okay, I would point out if the motion passes and we have a vote for an open primary, that fails, and you go to the next round, it still requires 60% for an endorsement. So we'll need 4 committee people to vote for a candidate for that candidate to be endorsed.
But you're forcing somebody to vote for somebody if they may not want to. And if they abstain,
I understand that, but that's not actually against our bylaws. Our bylaws just require the 60% for endorsement. Yes, Rebecca. Why don't you come up here though? Because I think.
It is in our bylaws and permitted. It is changing the dynamic of the vote. To say one thing is you can vote for one person, another person, or open endorsement. The other is saying open endorsement or not. And then if it's not, you're forcing someone who wanted to vote for open endorsement to make a choice. Now, I understand that you can get to 60, but you have to remember, we're talking about Narberth. There are 6 of us. Okay, so this is dramatically changing the scheme, and I want to remind people that this is being proposed specifically because of the circumstances that we are in. This is not a good rule. This is not a benign rule. This is not being presented simply to reduce animosity. This is, if anything, being introduced, in my opinion, with a strategic goal in mind. I encourage us all to consider keeping things how they are. You vote for you're voting for endorsement, and that means which candidate or open.
Krishna.
I think that on principle, we should not be making this change on the day of the vote. We should have time to think about it. I think that Jeff making the changes that is minimally required to be in compliance with MCDC bylaws is fine and necessary, but we shouldn't be making extra changes for the sake of any sort of desire to make changes beyond remaining in compliance with MCDC.
All right, Neil wanted to go, he's ex officio, Neil wanted to speak, he's ex officio, so I'm gonna let him speak for a minute, but then we'll take a couple more at most, and then we're done.
Under what rule does he get to speak? I'm an ex officio member of the executive committee. I have the voice, but not the vote. It's in the bylaws. Thank you. So, hello, everyone. It's great to see you. This is a good contentious election because it's important and it's critical that we uphold basic principles of democracy, and we do that right here at the local level. I want to say two things. One, specifically on this, which is that the way the MCDC runs this is they have the open primary motion first, and then if that doesn't pass by over 50%, you have the head-to-head vote. And that's important because it gives people a chance to make the decision on whether they want it to be open. And if not, they do have to make a decision, and that's what we do in elections every day. And there's no circumstances in which there's this third category that's basically, I don't want to vote. I've never seen that in any context, and we certainly don't do that at MCDC. So I think what James is motioning for is actually just in line with the precedent in the county and elsewhere. So it would give people the option to make the choice if they want an open primary, and it would also give them the option to choose to make a decision on a particular person if that doesn't pass.
All right, thanks, Sarah.
But that's not in the bylaws. And that's the difference.
Sure, yeah, that is not in the bylaws. Mike Salmonson.
There's another person not committed person. What's
He's an elected official.
Oh.
Ex officio member.
You should go.
All right to speak, but not vote. I'm also a candidate for Narberth Borough Council and a current Narberth Borough Council member. And this is probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. What you don't know and what nobody is telling you is that our committee, consistent, which I was a member of for several years.
It just gotta be germane to the.
It is germane, Jeff.
Okay.
Please. Have the respect.
It's gotta be germane.
It is germane, Jeff.
It's gotta be
There was
germane.
an election. There was a vote 2 days ago by the committee that resulted in a 4-2, Jeff. That resulted in a 4-2 vote. Nobody objected to that vote. And so I just, it is, because I'm now going to speak to the motion, Jeff.
Speak to the motion. Speak to the motion.
I think it's important for the committee to understand the context in which this motion is made. From that created the tension and concern that Jim has raised, because people then objected to that vote. And that's important to know that background. Given that, and I recognize the concerns about changing the rules, etc. But Narberth, I'm going to have to work with either of these candidates. Whoever gets elected, they're going to work with me, they're going to work with Joe. And we are being put in an almost untenable position right now as the people who work and live and breathe in this building. I would respectfully request that you consider, at least for the purposes of healing our community, that you consider doing the open vote first, accepting the motion, voting in favor of the motion. If that doesn't work, then people are free to vote. They can abstain too. I don't understand that they're being forced to vote. They can always not vote if they don't want to vote for one of the candidates. But I think for the purposes of my community, and I was trying to speak on behalf of my community, I believe that this committee should agree to voting for the open primary first. I think both candidates should be in favor of that. I hope they are both in favor of that. And if that fails, then we can proceed to a vote of our committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. All right, anyone else like to speak again? gonna keep it germane to the motion.
Well, it's gotta be germane to what was already said, so,
Okay.
you know.
All right.
And, you
I
know,
would-
so, Michael, you were not there, so thank you. There was a straw poll that was conducted over the weekend. I say straw poll because it met none of the requirements for a meeting. There are specific requirements for a meeting. None of those were met. And when the MCDC folks talked about that, they said that didn't count, okay? So again, there's some strategy here. I haven't figured out exactly what it is, but they want to prevent us from doing the way we've always done it because there's some strategy here. So thank you.
All right. We're not gonna get into a debate.
Just let it respond.
No, come on, Neil. Come on. Okay, listen. Now, Neil, come on. Come on.
You just let him say the thing. It was wrong. 1 minute.
Now, we're gonna call the question. All right. All right, fine, Neil. 30 seconds. Get up here. 30 seconds, and we're calling the question. 30 seconds.
Robert's Rules of Order. After a vote is announced, after the result of an election is announced, you cannot allow a committee person to change their vote. It's a fundamental principle in democracy, right? We don't change the election. We don't overturn the election. Saturday morning, Dana Edwards won the vote by email. Everybody consented to it, and they tried to overturn the election.
Okay, we're done. No, it was not a meeting.
Asynchronous vote does not count the same way.
It was not a meeting. We had it. Okay, then we're done. Okay, everyone sit down. We're calling the question. We're gonna vote on this. We're gonna vote on this motion. We're not gonna do back and forth and debate what happened over the weekend. It was not a meeting. Under our bylaws, it was not a meeting, Deb. As much as you want to make it a meeting now, it was not a meeting. I'm sorry. No, it was not called by me. Okay.
But they were harangued that you want to change it. We had a meeting called by you.
I did not call the meeting.
In good faith.
It
All spoke up
It
and
was
voted.
not a meeting. It was okay, I'd ask you to please, Deb, I would ask you to please call. Okay, I'd like you to sit down. I'm gonna call the question. I think we actually should go to a electronic vote on this particular question, given the contentiousness. So everyone's gonna get out there, all the committee people and proxies are gonna get an email. It's gonna be yes or no. This is a vote to amend the rules, so it's 50% plus one will prevail. And I will send, give me a second, I gotta send it. Yes. Yes.
There are in Narberth. So if 3 and 3, it is now 50. So
Correct.
what happens?
50%?
No, if it's 50 and 50, then what happens after?
Then that motion, that vote fails. There's not a majority at 3 to 3. It would have to be. It would go on to the next question, which would be the vote on the candidates. What? Restate the motions to, prior to voting on the candidates, there'll be an up and down motion on whether to hold an open primary. And because that's not an endorsement, that requires 50% plus one, which in this case would be 4 votes, not 3. No, the Narberth committee people, James, just remind, the motion is that the Narberth committee people vote on that, not the whole committee, right? The actual, what would happen? Okay. We're voting on an amendment to the rules to rule in that would allow the Narberth committee people to vote on whether to have an open primary or not. And that would require, not an endorsement, or require 50% plus one, which happens to be 4 votes. Is that everyone clear on that? I'm going to write it it'll be written in the question Okay, so when you will get it in your email in a moment once I send it. I have not sent it, so don't look at your email right now. Yes, Dana. Okay, please be quiet. Everyone, can you please be quiet for a second? We are voting on a vote to amend Rule M, right, which covers the Narberth mayor vote. The amendment would put a vote of the Narberth committee people first about an open primary. There would be a yes or no, do we want an open primary? It would require 50% plus one of the vote. Okay, that's what we're voting on. So the whole committee has to vote on an amendment to the rules. Okay,
I'm sorry, so we're not voting for an open primary. We're
no, you're voting on to allow them to vote on the open primary. Correct. Yes, yes, Phyllis.
In the density bylaws, that's how it works. And in,
The only thing that was in the MCD.
things on, I think you're just saying that beyond.
Just okay. This is not the bylaws, Phyllis. Only that we're going to vote on this first. I'll talk to you about it. I'll explain. Correct. So our rules have to. Okay, I'm gonna send this vote out so we could move forward. June, yeah.
My phone at home, so born in my son, how will I be?
You got to tell me the email address to send it to. Okay, come up here and tell. You got to come up here and tell me what you know. All right. All right, the Wi-Fi network is up on the wall over there. And Jason, you gotta come over here and unlock your phone and tell me what the Wi-Fi network is. Can we send it to everyone? I can, but everyone's not gonna get it. No, I haven't, because everyone's telling me they can't get on Wi-Fi, so I'm trying to solve that issue. Okay, yes, Mark's gonna put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be like, yeah.
Yeah, if you're able to get on that.
Everyone, I've now sent the email. You should be getting an email called Narberth Vote if you are a voter. Proxies, I have your email already. And you will give, and it's a Google form. They'll say yes or no. Click the one and then hit submit. Once you voted. It might take a second, Elaine, to come through. No, it's all right. It's got to go through the ether. I have no control over how quickly it gets to your email. All right. I mean, I just sent it. So I think it just sent. There is a Wi-Fi password over on the wall file. So if you're not on Wi-Fi, I would switch to Wi-Fi. All right. We'll give everyone 5 minutes. Let's see. Hopefully people start getting this email. Okay, people have gotten it. People are starting to get it. You hit, there's a yes or a no. Yes is in favor of the motion. No is not in favor of the motion. I gotta do that. Everyone, we're gonna give 1 more minute to vote. If you haven't voted or you have a problem, please let me know. Anybody else? Did you get the email?
Yeah. Might be trapped, or, yeah.
I guess I'll take your vote. Which one your vote might be?
Oh, well,
You find it.
okay, I'm like.
Last chance, get your votes in. Everyone, please sit down. No, I got his email. I got Phyllis. Is it E.I. Lustig? What's your vote? Yeah, we'll do that. We're gonna do it. We're gonna hopefully, everyone, please sit down. Please sit down. Everyone, please sit down. The result of the vote is the motion passes. We'll add this to Rule M. So the motion passes. So they'll vote on an open primary first and then on the mayor. Any other amendments to the rules? Going once, going twice. All right. Can I have we're gonna vote. Can I get a sorry? Did you have something else to say? Okay, but okay. No, we're talking about rules. We're talking about rules. All right, do I have a second? Well, we were talking about Norwood, but these are all the rules. But are there any other motions on the rules? Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, clarity would be helpful.
So. So I said, any more motions on the rules? Yeah. So she before you made a motion, she did raise her hand, Sarah. So. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay.
I want to make a motion.
Okay.
I want to make a motion to amend the rules with regard to Ward 14, parallel to what the rule amendment proposal was for Narberth, where there would be a first ballot vote. We would first vote to have an open primer.
So the same.
No endorsement.
The same thing.
Exactly.
The same. Okay.
Exactly.
So do I have a second on that? Okay. Do we need debate on this? Because we just had debate on the last, it's the same thing. Do you want to speak to this? Okay.
I find it very hypocritical that the people that are pushing this to all the committee people are the same people who fought to get that no endorsement on the actual ballot and the names of the candidates. So now that their candidate doesn't have 60%, yes, it is. Yes, it is, and many people remember it. And 2 years ago, it was fought to have that no endorsement on the ballot with the names. The same people who want it now to be not on there because they want to advantage their position and disrespect the community of Penguin because we have heard loud and clear they do not want an endorsement tonight. It is true in Penguin. Yes, it is.
All right. Leanne. No, Adrian, Leanne had her hand up. That's all right.
Sorry. Leanne Smith from Bryn Mawr. I just want to make the point that balloting in Lower Merion has had, I choose not to endorse for a very long time. This did not start 2 years ago. It's not in particular to any race. Okay, I think that might have been misunderstood. Okay. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
All right.
Okay, that was, I thought that was unclear.
Anyone else want to say that on the actual motion, not on what happened 2 years ago? Because we just talked about this issue. Do we really need to have more debate on it? Did she have her hand up first, Nancy? Then you could go. But then I think we should call the question on this one because it's the same issue.
Okay. I would like to explain the math again. Do you understand the math by having do not, I choose not to endorse. I didn't interrupt you, Sarah. If there is a question on how the math is going to work, when you put a third option that doesn't have the same value on it. Right. As Phyllis said, it's a concept rather than a person. It is not a fair vote. And I have been against it being on the ballot, on the same ballot, since I became a committee person 7 years
That's
ago.
not germane to this discussion.
Well,
So,
2 seconds.
Nancy, did you want? Sorry, Nancy, but they can't hear you on Zoom if you don't.
I have a question, and I'm sorry, but this has been confusing. Is Ward 14 committee people voting separately?
That's not how the rules read
Okay.
right now.
So,
But I don't know what's your amendment to have only the Ward 14 committee people vote on this? So it's exactly the same as in Arbor. Yeah, okay, yeah.
so we're voting whether all of our committee wants to have the open primary vote?
No. All the committee is going to vote on the amendment to the rule, but the rule would only have Ward 14 committee people vote in it, because that would be the same as Narberth.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna call the question. All right. I think we're gonna go. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna send this out, but then please stay in your to vote. But we're gonna vote yes or no on the amendment, Adrian. While we're doing that, though, we're gonna we will move to. Well, if we can't move to adopt the rule, Gilda, I want to move forward, but we gotta adopt the rules first. So, unfortunately, so let me send this out. We're gonna vote on this, and hopefully that's the last amendment on the rules. We can adopt the rules and get on with the actual voting for endorsements. So, all right. All the vote has been sent. Everyone, the vote has been sent to your email. We'll give everyone 5 minutes.
Is this actual voting? No, this is still voting about voting.
You're not muted.
Otherwise, in an email called Ward 14 Vote. I will check. Sorry, if anyone has trouble getting in, try again now. I set it so people can't change their vote, but that requires something else. So now I don't trust everyone's not going to change their vote on me after the fact. So one more minute, guys. One more minute. If you're having technical problems, come over to my son. He'll try to solve them. He's much better than I am. And then we'll get to the announcement of this vote and hopefully get to adopting the rules and getting on with endorsements. So you'll be as well. Each other. Okay. All right, everyone, please sit down. Everyone can please sit down. What, Jill? I'm sure I said Are you sure? Tell me about this, because I don't want to like, I don't know why you said it. I can't tell you. All right. All right, the motion fails. Motion fails on this one. All right. So I'm gonna go back. Do I have a motion to adopt the rules? The motion fails. The motion fails. All right. Do I have a motion to adopt the rules? Adopt the rules. Do I have a second? Do I have can I get a voice vote on adopting the rules? All right, in the opinion of the chair, the rules have been adopted. All right, so we're going to move on. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to act on Narberth's recommendation on Borough Council we have 4 candidates running for 4 spots. That is Cindy Rickard, Mike Salmonson, Joe Stratton, and Fred Bush. This requires 60% vote, but I'm going to take it by voice vote. There is no opposition. There are 4 candidates running for 4 spots. Can I ask for a motion to adopt this recommendation? Do I have a second? Second. All right. Can I get a voice vote? Yes. All right. Depending on the chair, that passes. Congratulations. Next, I will take I'm going to move on to the recommendation to endorse Bill Sipe as Narberth Borough Tax Collector. This requires 60% vote. He is not being opposed. I will take a voice vote on this. Oh, no, sorry. Can I hear a motion to endorse to adopt the recommendation to endorse Bill Sipe? Second. All right. Can I get a voice vote? All right, the chair, that passes. I'm going to take a voice vote now, or sorry, ask for a motion to nominate our commissioner candidates for wards 2, which is Mike Daly, 4 Charles Gregory, 6 Chris McGuire, 8, Craig Timberlake, and 12, Todd Sinai. None of these candidates are opposed. Can I get a motion to adopt Gilda Kramer? Can I get a second? All right. Could I get a voice vote? All in favor? Say aye. All right. So moved. So adopted. Then I'm going to get a move on to magisterial district judge. We have one candidate, John McMahon. Can I get a motion to endorse John McMahon? DCLMN, second. Could I get a voice vote in favor of that? All right, John. Yes.
In the rules, you said that it was only going to be the people in that magisterial district that were.
I said that it was the people within the it was a two thresholds, Adrian. So there is a threshold of 60% of the people within the magisterial district boundaries, and then the 60% of the whole committee as well. In the opinion of the chair, I think we met both of those thresholds for this endorsement. Yeah, that's fair. And the same thing was held in Narberth. If people think I went too fast and missed someone objecting in the Narberth one, I can go back. No, okay, I'm joking. I'm joking. Lastly, I would take a. We have one candidate for Narberth tax collector, Jana Lunger. Oh, did I say Narberth? Sorry, I'm so fixated. This meeting has been so fixated on Narberth, I've forgotten all about Lower Merion. For Lower Merion tax collector, she is unopposed. Can I get a motion to endorse her? Gilda Kramer, Rachel Chow seconds. Can I get a voice vote on endorsing Jana for tax collector? All right, passed. Okay, so next I'm going to ask, we're going to move on to school board. Everyone's now excited, right? Everyone perks up for school board. Okay. Well, we're going to do Narberth Mayor last. I'm sorry, we're going to do school board, we're going to do Ward 14, then we're going to do Narberth Mayor. Okay, so we're going to give each of the candidates 2 minutes to come up and speak. But before I do that, I just want to go over the rules that we've adopted. There are 2 rounds of balloting, okay? In order to get endorsed, a candidate needs 60%, okay? And the way this will work is that the do not endorse vote, which is still part of this vote, will count as a vote. If there are, in the first round, if there are less than 4 candidates endorsed, we'll move to a second round where the top 2 vote getters will be voted on. If at that point, neither of them have 60%, then the voting is done. So there's only 2 rounds, okay? We'll do them both on, one and the second one if we need to, also on the electronic voting. Did someone, Christian, do you have a question or you just, okay, okay, that's fine. Just want to make sure that no one has any questions. Okay. There's just 2 names, the top 2 vote getters. Well, I guess if do not endorse gets the top, then we could do not endorse versus, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. So, okay, so then we're going to ask each candidate to come up in no particular order for 2 minutes. I'd really ask, it's already late, I'd really ask the candidates to keep it brief. Hopefully you've met and talked to each and every one of our committee people already. Oh, sorry, Jonathan. I missed the CRC report. Did you want to? Jonathan, come up and we can take a break and have John, because we're getting to the races that really matter. I'll have Jonathan come up and give us his CRC report. So the races that really have taken up most of my time, let's just say that. All right. Why my wife and kids are like, where are you? Well, he's right here. He knows where I am. Sorry, Jonathan. I was just so anxious.
It's all good. Now, listen, first I want to make a motion that everybody give Jeff a break. He's going through. So, yeah. I did this for 6.5 years, and every once in a while I miss it, and then I came here tonight. You remember my sense of humor. Anyway, I share the CRC this round, and I want to just give you a brief report. As you know, the Candidate Recruitment Committee is responsible for the vetting of candidates for elected office in Lower Merion and Narberth.
The members of the CRC for the 2025 cycle were myself as chair of CRC, Rob Paul, vice chair of the Eastern Wards, Elaine Roseman and Evan Mackey from the Eastern Wards, June Coleman and Amy Palmer from the Central Wards, Samantha Florent and Rachel Chow from the Western Wards. Dana Edwards was a member of the committee until January 31st, when he announced his candidacy for Narberth mayor. You know, with full disclosure, this occurred after he participated in the interview with his opponent, Rebecca Starr. Dana was then asked to step down from the CRC. The process followed DCLMN past practices and included a call for candidates who wish to be considered for endorsement, soliciting candidate responses to questionnaires relevant to the office, a resume and a letter of reference, an in-person interview before the CRC, and a background check to confirm party registration, residency compliance, and any potential red flags such as tax liens, professional misconduct, etc. The candidates being considered at this endorsement meeting all complied with the process outlined here, and our work and the work of issues and policy is now complete, and so the rest is up to you. I just want to say I appreciate what it takes to go through all this material, to take these phone calls, to like give it the thought that's necessary, and I know you all do, and I thank you for that.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. You take half my stuff. Okay, I was like, what are we doing next?
I have a question about the CRC committee. I've been told that you're contemplating a rule in the future that if somebody does sit through the opponent's interviews, that they would not be eligible for the endorsement in the future. Is that what was that?
That may be considered by, future chairs and future officers. That may, yeah, that's good. I mean, I can't say, I'm not sure I'm gonna be the chair when we get to that, but I think that's. Then Jonathan, if you're gonna say something, you gotta come back. The question was, is there gonna be a rule explicitly barring folks? I think that's probably under consideration, but I don't think this is really that germane. Jonathan, why don't you say something for a second?
Yeah, real quick. So given what occurred this cycle, which has never happened before, I would prefer to put it into the enrollment into CRC to get all members of the CRC to agree not to run, and therefore not be allowed to run once they participated in the CRC. So it's the flip side, but I think a better way to go.
Yeah, we don't need, let's not get into this. So I'm gonna ask now, the school board candidates come in, they're each gonna speak they're really gonna speak for 2 minutes, because it's already a late hour. Jennifer, you're closest, I'm gonna go to you first, and we're in no particular order here, so have at it. I'm gonna be a meticulous timekeeper here.
Okie dokie, good evening all. Okay, I stand before you with a deep commitment to the future of our students, district, and I am ready and willing to do the hard work required to ensure that all children, regardless of their background or circumstances, are given the opportunity to thrive. We are incredibly fortunate to be in a district that is known for excellence, but that does not mean that we can rest. Our work is never done. We must always strive to improve. We must always strive to challenge ourselves and to create a truly inclusive environment where every student feels supported, every student feels valued, and set up for achievement. I am running as a representative for all students, for all families, and for all taxpayers across Lower Merion and Narberth. Every voice matters, and I believe in championing public education with the understanding that every student deserves the best opportunities to succeed. I will fight for a district where inclusivity is not just a word, but it is a lived experience. Our schools must be places where our schools must be places where no one faces hate, no matter their race, no matter their gender, no matter their religion, no matter their socioeconomic status or their abilities. I want to acknowledge that we are facing challenging times, if you could agree with me. I recognize the struggles of our Jewish community and what they have faced recently. And I stand firm in my commitment to fighting anti-Semitism and all forms of hatred. But I also want to remind us that trauma affects different groups in different ways, and we must be supportive of one another, rather than allowing our experiences to divide us. This is not a one group versus another. It's about coming together as a unified community for the greater good of our students. We need to create bridges. We need to not have barriers. We need to continue fostering open dialogue and work together to strengthen relationship between our school board and the township. Decisions made in an area that impact one another, we must always be collaborative more effectively to ensure that our students and our community will flourish. So together, do you hear that? Together, not divided. We need to create a district that is peaceful. We need to create a district that is inclusive and focus on the well-being of every learner. I am ready to be a part of the future, and I humbly ask for your endorsement to help build the future for all of us. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. Summer Khan.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time, and thank you to DCLMN for your commitment to ensuring strong leadership in our schools. And I apologize for my voice today. I'm here uniquely as the candidate whose children are not students in the public school. And though it's been whispered about, and I feel at times has been weaponized against me, I haven't publicly addressed it before tonight. But tonight I'm addressing it because there are other parents who live in Lower Merion who, like me, would prefer to have their children in the public schools. But because they are co-parenting with a former spouse or partner, and their children live between two different homes, these parents must comply with terms that may be unfavorable to them because it provides at least some stability for their children. These parents are not bad people. We are not villains. We do the best that we can for our children, and we still care deeply about our community and the education that all our students are receiving. I care that all ethnicities and genders are treated worthily and with respect. I care that teachers are given the resources they need to teach the academics and the life skills this generation of students will need to thrive in a diverse world where not everyone looks, speaks, or thinks like them. I care about the students who have two working parents or a stay-at-home parent. For the students who are adopted or part of the foster care system. For the students who have a single parent or are navigating the realities of separation or divorce. I bring this perspective not just to this committee, but to the school board, where there is no requirement that board members have children attending public school, or even have children at all. I'm qualified, capable, and dedicated. Now I'll be honored to earn your support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Perry, why don't you come up next? Just going in order, so you're gonna.
Good evening, everyone. We were sitting over there earlier and I was thinking to myself, and we thought the school board was the only energetic meetings we had in this community. Maybe it's us, maybe it's all of us. And what that tells us, though, is that this community, and you could hear from the last two candidates, and every single candidate is filled with amazing people who believe in civics, who believe that our voice matters, and that we go into our community, we go into our schools, and we go into the work that we do every single day and do the good work, because it takes citizens who have a voice, who have engagement, and who have action to do something about it. I'm running again for school board. Right now, I'm the president of the school board, and I'm looking for your endorsement to seek re-election. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I believe it is so unbelievably important right now in this district, in this state, and in this country to have consistent leadership that knows how to serve, knows what it means to be a school board member, and isn't there with a personal agenda. This is unbelievably powerful, and this is what we need to do. I'll tell you right now, the number one thing that matters to every single school board, and all we should, is putting our kids first, our kids' needs. And let's be honest, and we know this well, public education is under attack. This is not messing around. It's under attack in every location. Okay, I'm gonna speed up. So we have to think about this. We face serious threats in our school. We have great things going on with a new superintendent coming, with big ideas and renewed energy, but we're looking at unprecedented attacks in public education, the civil rights of our students, and the very idea that every child deserves a safe and healthy learning environment with high expectations. That's the definition of inclusion. Hold your kids high and know that they can meet it and break through. Every single one of our kids, all of them. I'm getting there, I promise. So I have worked to really include well-resourced, inclusive schools, but there is so much more work to do. At my core, I'm a servant leader. I don't believe leadership is about power. I do believe it needs to take a strong stand. And when people step out of line and aren't there for kids, be put in a box, because that's not okay, not for the school board. But I believe that it is my job to listen to the community, to listen to the kids, and to listen to the parents, and come together and do what we do well and make good change and compromise and move it forward. So thank you. I appreciate you and all that you've gone through tonight, because Robert's Rules of Order are better. And I really truly appreciate all of our community and all of you. This is really hard. The last year has been really tricky, but I will tell you, it was so wonderful to hear how much trust and how much support is also in this community. So I just want to say thank you all for what you do. You make sure good people are moving our government forward and ensuring that our Constitution is followed. Thank you.
Randall, please come up.
Okay, I brought my timer up, so I'll try to follow the rules.
Sure.
Yeah.
She'll
Yeah.
introduce herself. I have to move this back, because there's a little
Okay.
feedback there.
Okay. Is good? Okay.
As far as I know.
Okay.
And I can't-
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anna Shurak, and I am running for re-election because I believe deeply in our community, our students, and the transformative power of public education. Over the past 3 years, I've worked relentlessly to make meaningful progress. We passed and implemented full-day kindergarten. We preserved Oakwell. We changed and adjusted the start times to better support student wellness. And these are just our most publicized accomplishments that we did together. We achieved these outcomes amidst significant challenges, including 4 superintendent transitions and the lasting impacts of the pandemic. But through collaboration, persistence, and a shared commitment to student success, we made real lasting change. These successes represent the kind of leadership I bring to the board: experienced, collaborative, data-informed, and always focused on what's best for students and families. Yet our work is far from done. With another superintendent transition ahead, we must ensure stability and sustainability and leadership while continuing to push for the matters that are impacting our community the most. Let me be clear, public education is already under attack. I'm going to talk a little bit longer. We are seeing, I know, I got you. We see it happening already. There's funding cuts, there's our students' freedoms and civil rights are being tested. Our students do not feel safe. Our administrators and teachers do not know how to navigate, not just in Lower Merion, but across the country. I'm passionate about ensuring our students receive the support they need to thrive, whether that means protecting special education services, expanding access to enrichment programs, or addressing the achievement gaps that are within our targeted interventions and what our students need. I believe every child deserves to feel valued, supported, and empowered to reach their full potential. I know this work is not easy. It requires all of us coming together to do it. The school board can't do it alone. Our schools can't do it alone. You all can't do it alone, but we can definitely do it together. I ask for your endorsement to continue this critical work, bringing my experience, vision, and steadfast commitment to serve our students, families, and entire community, and I appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Rebecca. Rebecca Brodsky. Rebecca Brodsky, did you hear that?
Good evening, and I'll try to make it quick. My name is Rebecca Brodsky, and sorry, I'm a little nervous. I am seeking your endorsement for a school board candidate. While researching for this position, I've noticed that the district website needs to be updated. There's so many outdated information that how can new families find resources for their kids for an IEP, gifted, for health support, and one of the student policies, I know a lot of conversation at school board meetings have been due to protecting the students for LGBTQT plus, trans, and parents are concerned about ICE showing up to school. This is a student rights policy. It is called Equal Education Opportunity. It is a policy of the Lower Merion School District that no student shall be denied access to free, full public education on the account of race, color, ethnicity, national origin, language, immigration status, sex assigned at birth, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, pregnancy, childbirth, pregnancy-related medical condition, disability, creed, religion, and religious creed. So I know families are afraid that ICE, protecting our trans students, they are protected. This policies protect them. So there is no doubt that the board will protect our students. Another thing I really want to bring up is that I want to be part of the school board because I want to work also with the intergovernmental committee to work with the township to provide safer walkways. Because another policies is the policy of operations 830 is pedestrian access to schools. When we have bus shortage, why not, provide more walkability in the middle school and the high schools by, increasing our walkability of sidewalks. So I think that's something that we need to figure out, especially with, our budget crisis coming up. In 2023 to 2024, 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024, the salaries and benefits of the teachers was 50% of the budget. For 2024 to 2025, the salaries and benefits account for 76% of the budget. So we have a big problem coming up into the 2026 year.
All right, thank you. We're gonna take my notes. Rebecca, you didn't take my notes there. Rebecca, you didn't take all my notes, did you? We'd be like really lost if I lost all this, So I think now I'm going to turn to, there's two candidates on the Zoom. Are there three, or is Jamie on there as well? Okay, I didn't see him. Mark, are we all set to hear them? I'm going to ask everyone to please try to be as quiet as possible because we have as good a setup as we can for hybrid meetings, but it's not like the most excellent system to come through Zoom. So I'm just going to ask you, go to Rich Lester first, then Juanita, and then we'll end with Jamie. So Rich, once Mark gives you the okay, we'll go ahead and start. So are we good? Okay, Rich, go ahead.
You can hear me?
We can hear you.
All right. Thanks. It's good to be here tonight, at least by Zoom. I started this process back in 2023 because my son talked to me about running for school board. To fully understand the role, I spent over 10 months meeting with over 20 people, including former board members, community members engaged in our schools, some folks in the administration, and the leadership of this committee. I was shocked and surprised that I was encouraged by those discussions as opposed to deterred. The November 2024 election made it clear that I wanted to do my small part to maintain order, democracy, and sanity in our rapidly changing country that is facing a frontal attack on public education. Through this endorsement process, I've learned a lot from engaged parents, committee members, and others who care about our schools. I know I have a lot more to learn. The process continues to energize me and confirm that I believe I can help build a better LMSD with the right administrative leadership, working with the community, and a cohesive and collaborative school board. As I've watched our recently elected president demean and use his bully pulpit to stifle open dialogue, it is important that locally we encourage and reward civil behavior and constructive discussions. If I'm endorsed and ultimately elected, I will focus on 4 key areas. One, good governance, accountability, and transparency. 2, bringing student voices to the board and its committees. 3, addressing racism, anti-Semitism, anti-LGBTQ+ in a systematic way where we can actually measure our progress. And 4, trying to find new ways to tackle the achievement gap. As a side note, I feel I need to address some concerns that have been raised about my answer to question number 5 that Adrian sent out recently. My answers provided a framework for examining how we address a potential material funding crisis. Taking my answers as being supportive or against any specific change is misrepresenting my response. I was putting forth specific areas to investigate to solve a potential crisis that we all think may be coming. My business career, extensive for-profit and nonprofit board experience, and volunteering in our community provide me with a unique set of skills that I think the board will benefit from. I want to thank those on the committee who I've talked to, and for those that are putting in time to learn and to meet with the candidates, and I hope you will make decisions that are for the best interest of our school district. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and call on Juanita then. I'm going to switch the spotlight on those.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. It's on. We can hear you.
Okay. Hello, my name is Juanita James Kerber. And before I talk to you about why I'm running for the school board, I wanted to address something that happened last night at our school board business meeting. A young Jewish student came to the podium and spoke about their personal experiences living in our community. They wanted to express a different opinion than the previous speakers. I applauded this young person as I would anyone's child who had the courage and bravery to speak in a public forum. After the meeting, I spoke with them. They mentioned being surprised that someone would heckle them during their speech. Our community should embrace our young people. No one should dash the spirit of a young voice, especially for adolescent students who are finding their own voice. As a community member and mother, it was important for me to let that student know that they were seen and heard. It really touched my heart and impacted me. And I still can't get over that moment and the moment of how well they handled it. Later, I found out that members of our Jewish community were angry that I didn't mention Israel's right to exist. And by the way, I have Jewish family members. I believe in having tough conversations which are uncomfortable because that's the only way that we can learn, and that's the only way that we can grow together and be better as a community, which is needed for our children so that we set the example. I understand the concern for safety, and if elected, I would use all of my skills to promote a safe environment for our students. While public speaking isn't my strongest suit, analyzing a problem, collaborating with others to find solutions are my strongest suit. That's my analyst hat. I'm an effective communicator, and I pride myself on listening and advocating for the needs and the rights of others. This is what I bring to our school board. I've spoken to parents and community members who have found a lot of positive attributes in our diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. So I'm committed to supporting those policies. I'm committed to bringing more awareness to the needs of our teachers and students in special education. Lastly, I'm committed to focusing on solutions and the types of enrichment programs to help close the achievement gaps and to better the communication for parents who oftentimes don't have all the answers or to their questions or the questions to their answers, and they need a little guidance. So I think that there are definitely plans that could help those parents by providing them with the right information so that they can make careful decisions for their children. I'm committed to the hard and diligent work that's needed. And with your support, I know that I can have a meaningful impact and be a great addition to our school board. We have an incredible, diverse community, which is also our village. More than ever, we need a strong village. So I'd like to take the time to thank everyone that I spoke with. I've had a great opportunity to speak with many people, and I hope to have an opportunity to speak with many more. It was enjoyable and enlightening, and I hope to have your endorsement. Thank you all.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you. And Jamie, the people last here, I'll spotlight her. Yeah. All right, Jamie. All right, there we go. There it is. Jamie, you're on mute though.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you great now. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank you for putting this event together. I'm not a politician. I don't have a prepared speech, but as I was sitting here listening to my fellow candidates speak about what they hope to do, I think now would be a good time to tell you who I am and where I'm coming from and why I'm doing this now. I think I'm a black swan. By all accounts, I shouldn't be living in Lower Merion. I'm a kid who was born in the South Bronx, went to public school my whole life, went to public university, I test well, I did well academically, managed to went to the military to pay for my college, and after the military managed to go to one of the best universities in the world, in Duke University. After business school, I went to finance. I spent 10 years working in financial services, learning all about budgets, investing, etc. Before making a decision to transition to technology, where I am today. And at every step, I've been the only person that looks like me, that has my story, that has benefited from the resources available in this country. And I was not planning on running for school board. In fact, I had no interest in politics at all. But similar to 9/11, I heard after 9/11, I heard a call. To my soul, I knew that I needed to serve in the Army and I needed to go and fight for our democracy. I heard that same bell when I listened to Donald Trump's inauguration speech. I have to fight. I don't know what else to do. I know that my experience, both government and public, can be valuable, and that I'm going to be doing everything in my power to make sure that these kids have an example of someone who maybe looks like them, has a similar background, and has made it. And I would love to serve my community by working with the folks here and on the school board. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. All right. Before we vote, I do need to make one quick note. Jamie, Jaime, sorry, has filed his attempted to file his petitions in Norristown last week at the deadline. Those were rejected at the counter, He is contesting that at the moment. He isn't actively trying to gain a spot on the ballot. So I let him remain on the endorsement vote tonight. But I just want to make sure everyone's aware, it is, there's a good chance that he will not be successful in his challenge and may not ultimately be a candidate. So I think in terms of fairness, I felt we should allow him to put his name forward. So since he went through the process. So I'm just going to remind everyone, we're going to do a first round. You can vote for 4 folks in this first round. We will then tally that up. If there are 4 endorsed in this first round, which all require 60%, then we'll stop. If there are less than 4 endorsed, we'll do a second round with the, if we endorse 3 and there's 1 left, we'll have a second round with just 2 spots. The top 2 vote getters, that could be, I choose not to endorse, or it could be the 2 candidates. After that, we will stop. So if we don't have 2 and 4 endorsed after that, we don't go any further according to the rules. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and send out the ballots. Yes. Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, Phil, I was going to do that at the very beginning hours ago, but I never did it because I wanted to keep moving. Just so everyone's aware, there are 3 Republican candidates cross-filed. There are actually 4 total Republican candidates. 1 did not cross-file, 1 only filed in the Republican primary, but 3 of the Republican candidates did file in our primary. So, one of the reasons why we do look to endorse, why we do 2 rounds, is because we do want to try to make sure we can identify those candidates, makes it easier for our voters. Obviously, if we're really stuck and we can't, that's why we only do 2 rounds. We don't force an endorsement after that, but just to give everyone context that we will have Republicans in there. And 3 of our candidates did cross-file in the Republican primary. So we'll see, those are endorsed candidates, they'll continue on. So I'm going to do similar than the last vote. I'm going to send this around. I think I have everyone's emails now straightened out. People have found their votes in their spam folders. Look for it again there. Deb Stahl, did you have a question? Who are the Talia Nissim, Jacob Rudolph. Those are cross-filed. Those are Republicans who cross-filed in the Democratic primary. And then 3 of our candidates, Samar, Rich, and Jen. Okay. Sorry, my mind's starting to. I'm starting to lose it. Cross-filed in the Republican primary. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and send the vote out. If you have trouble, find me, find my son. If you have technical trouble, that's probably a better bet. All right, and then we'll give I'll let you know once I send it out. Yeah, I can't share with you. Not like just giving me a balance. Okay, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to read it. Could you give me an editor? I just gave you editor after this. Okay, that's gonna be helpful. I'm not going to.
That do it?
Sorry. Okay, it's all right.
Has anybody received the ballot? I have not received it.
I just sent the ballot right
Okay.
now.
Thank
So
you.
everyone should be getting it momentarily. I just sent the ballot right now. It's called School Board Round 1. School Board Round 1 is what the email is called. We'll give you everyone 5 minutes. It might not have come yet. It got sent like within 30 seconds. So just look for a minute, and then if it still hasn't come, then look. All right, I'm gonna get some water while everyone's going. All right, one more minute, and then we're gonna close the voting and announce the winners. All right, everybody, everyone. All right, please, we're almost through it. We're getting through this. All right. Well, I want everyone, I just want to announce the results of round one. We actually had 4 candidates pass the threshold of 60%. So congratulations to Jennifer Rivera, Anna Chirac, Terry Saunter, and Juanita Kerber. I just want to say, I want to thank all the candidates who came out and put themselves out there. It's really hard to do that. These elections happen every 2 years. Finding quality people who want to serve their community is hard. So those of you who did not get endorsed tonight, I'm sorry. Yes, their names: Jennifer Rivera, Anna Chirac, Terry Saunter, and Juanita Kerber. All right. So I know everyone's excited, but let me speak. I just wanted to thank all the candidates who came out to try to get endorsed. This is not easy, putting yourself out there. You know, we also have, you know, open positions probably in 2 more years. So, you know, think about, you know, don't like think this is the end. You know, think about maybe trying again in 2 years. But I really appreciate, you know, truly everyone's effort. Those of you who were endorsed tonight, those of you who were not. So, in the interest of time, though, as much as I like to, you know, allow people to you know, savor this, we need to move on to our next item of business, which is Ward 14. We're going similar to the previous school board vote. We're going to let each candidate speak for 2 minutes. I will attempt to keep them to that. I don't know how successfully. Then we will vote. We will hear if there is a recommendation by the ward committee. We will hear that, but at this point, I don't have a recommendation. And then we'll let the entire body vote, and we'll do so electronically. So Ken, I see you first. So why don't I let you? We got Shelby go first. Shelby's closer, so we'll get Shelby to go first. All right.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, DCLMN, for this opportunity, for all of the support I've received as a candidate. I really have enjoyed meeting almost all of you, talking to all of you, and our conversations I just, I've learned a lot. I will represent Penn Win in partnership with Ward 14 neighbors and as one of 14 on the Board of Commissioners to implement democratic values, to continue the relationships that I have been building for the past decade with current commissioners, civic leaders, township staff, school board members. I am committed to improving the relationship between the Board of Commissioners and the school board, not meeting just in times of crisis and conflict, but in maintaining those relationships in the good times as well. You know, the reality is what's in my brain is the reality is we don't really know what's going to happen at the federal and state levels. And the township needs to be prepared to make some decisions to continue to provide services and protect our residents in the way that we know and love now, and continue to be able to do that. I know how to effectively advocate. I know how to implement the process and make changes that need to be made to improve the lives of our residents, and I plan to do that. I have the energy, I have the know-how, I am ready to hit the ground running. And you know, I just want to say there was a recent rules change this afternoon that has sort of thrown me for a loop. I did not it was just implemented, I understand. I didn't receive any information, so I just want to make sure we understand that we need 2 thresholds.
I'll go over it again before they vote.
Okay. And so that's just distracting me a little bit. But anyway, I think that it may cause the more likelihood of an open primary in Penn Win. And I just want to say that with the national scene and the climate right now going on and all of the negativity and divisiveness, it has come to Penn Win. And I do not feel that it is in the best interest of Penn Win to allow that divisiveness to come. We have the ability to make a choice, to give certainty, and to allow us to move forward as a Democratic slate together, because there is also a Republican opponent in Ward 14. And I just want to say, I feel very strongly, I think you all know from my conversations how committed I am to the community and how important it is to me to build on cohesion and partnership and move forward. And I just feel very strongly about that and wanted to make sure that I passed that along. So I'm a little off script, but thank you. And I hope that I have earned your endorsement tonight. Thanks.
You can tell I'm not a politician because my Apple Watch thinks I'm working out. Thank you for your time today and for the opportunity to share my vision for Ward 14 in Lower Merion Township. I'm running for commissioner because I believe in this community. I was born here, raised here, attended Lower Merion Public Schools, and now my family and I have called Penn Win home for over 20 years. In that time, I've seen firsthand the strengths we have and the challenges we face. From improving pedestrian safety and walkability to ensuring responsible financial stewardship, I'm committed to making our township an even better place to live, work, and raise a family. With my background in financial planning and strategic decision-making, I bring the experience and leadership needed to navigate complex issues, make data-driven decisions, and advocate effectively for our community. I've spent my career balancing budgets, managing large-scale initiatives, and driving results, skills that are essential for serving as a commissioner. But beyond my professional experience, what truly drives me is a passion for community service. My commitment to service is deeply rooted in my belief in democratic values, equity, opportunity, and community engagement. I've served on local boards, coached youth sports, and as a girl dad, created opportunities for young women that didn't exist. I work to bring people together and tackle challenges. I believe in collaboration, in listening, and ensuring that every resident's voice is heard. Now, I'm asking for your support. An endorsement from the Democratic Committee is not just about backing a candidate, it's about choosing the strongest advocate for our values, democratic values, and our shared future. I'm ready to put in the work, to run a strong campaign, and to be the champion the community deserves. I humbly ask for your endorsement so that together we can build a safer, more connected, and more vibrant Lower Merion. Thank you.
All right. So before I send the ballot out, I just want to remind folks, Shelby did mention this, we did send out a rule change today, which we discussed earlier. This is a rule change, not something that I necessarily wanted to do, but it was informed by the solicitor for MCDC, which we are a part of. We have to abide by MCDC's bylaws. That at a very minimum, that we need to, yes, it includes wards. Yeah, it does. It does. We need to confirm, we need to abide by MCDC's bylaws that require 60% of the committee people within the boundary that could vote in the primary on that office, that 60% of them are in favor of endorsement in order to make the endorsement effective for MCDC. That's a floor according to the solicitor, so we are free to also have the whole committee vote and also vote and require 60%. So there's two thresholds that have to be met. Again, not something I went out looking for, but I was apprised of this, basically overnight or last night, and felt obligated, since we are part of MCDC, that we must abide by this bylaw. So I'm going to send out the ballot, but yes.
So are the committee people in Ward 14 doing the vote with us, but you're going to count?
Yes, that's how the rules, that's how because in order not to change the MCDC, the DCLMN process as much as possible, that's what we propose, that's what we adopt in it. I will separately count them. So I'll let you know if both thresholds have been passed or not. Yes. Phyllis. Yeah. And listen, I learned about this literally I got an email overnight about what exact, so happy to. No, I'm sorry. Phyllis, it's been a rough day today. So I'm sorry. I don't know if that's really going to change the outcome of the Ward 14 committee person vote, so. Well, yeah, I'm going to send the vote. All right.
A lot of people call me. You're a night owl. No. Hey, if I call you, let me yeah.
I have now sent the vote. I have now sent the, it's called Ward, an email called Ward 14. Okay, we'll give 5 minutes for folks to vote. Yeah, all right. 1 more minute for voting, 1 more minute for voting. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Vice Chair. All right, everybody, about 30 more seconds. All right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and announce the vote. Remember, it had to meet two thresholds. It had to get 60% of the ward committee people. That means 4 ward committee people had to vote. Plus, it had to get 60% of the overall committee. It failed on the ward committee. The ward committee did only was well, I'm not gonna go through we did not get 60% for one candidate in the ward committee. There would be no endorsement. The overall, it failed on this. It passed the second threshold. I'm not gonna give you enough. I'm not gonna. I think it was like. I can tell you. 57 votes in favor. 57 in favor. All right. In favor, 57 in favor of endorsing Shelby. Out of the 70 something votes that we had. So. No, I'm not going to go through all 3 options. You got what you want. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. It's late. So we got 3 votes for open and 3 votes for Shelby among the Ward 14 committee people. I mean, that's the result. Okay. All right, I'll tell you. For you, Phyllis.
I'm sorry. I'm upset.
CDC told me I had to perform this.
I know.
Go and tell CDC you don't like it. All right.
I'm very
All right. Ken for Ken, and then the rest for later. All right. So we're moving on. I gave you the number. I said 10 for Ken and 3 for open. The 3 other committee people, they voted for open. My hands are tied. I did not go looking for the opinion from NCDC, but it got so I have to. I'm not going to say who did. Okay, we're not going to open that up. All right, we're going to move on to Narberth. We are going to do a hand vote on the open primary question. So only the Narberth committee people will vote on this. What, you want an electronic? You want an electronic vote? All right. So the Narberth committee people, there's 6 of you. Could I see it? Who is in favor of an open primary? Please raise their hand. So I count 2 people in favor of an open primary. Okay. So who's opposed to an open primary? Okay, and 1 abstaining. So okay, that fails. Okay, now we're going to vote for. We're going to do a same thing for mayor. So who is in favor of endorsing Rebecca Starr? So we got who is in favor of voting for Rebecca Starr for mayor for endorsement? Okay, we got 2 votes for Rebecca. 3. Do I have, where am I seeing a 3rd vote? Okay. And in favor of Dana Edwards? 3. 4. All right. So then we'll move on to up or down vote for the question of Dana Edwards to the whole committee. All right, because the chair is recognizing that as a recommendation.
Now, do we agree with that recommendation? No.
Yes, it's an up or down vote, Adrian. Do we agree? Do we accept the Narberth recommendation? I recognize there are 4 votes or 4 people in the Narberth committee people who are saying they want to endorse. So all it is 60% to accept that recommendation. We'll do it electronically just to be sure, just given the consternation around this, even though hopefully it would be a voice vote. This will be the last vote of the evening either way.
We actually have more say about Harvard than we do about it.
Well, there's 4 of them voting to endorse him. Then it didn't happen. They just decided to do it sequentially instead of. Well, because they adopted a different rule. That's what that whole fight about the rule. Yeah, you're doing great. Try my best. Doing it. All right, remember, we are now so the 4 Narberth committee people have voted in favor of endorsing Dana. So this is a vote to accept the recommendation of the Narberth committee people to endorse Dana Edwards for mayor. It requires 60% of the overall vote. I just sent it, okay? We'll give you guys 5 minutes to vote. All right, gotcha. So you're.
Yeah. I've been getting all of this, but it's like after just after you announce it, and then I can't check.
Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. One more minute for 1 more minute for voting. 1 more minute for voting. All right, I am closing voting. I am closing voting. All right, I'm going to close voting now. If you haven't voted, all right, everyone, I'm going to announce the result. I'm going to announce the result. The recommendation is approved by the overall committee, and Dana Edwards is endorsed for mayor of Norfolk. I just want to thank, before we ask for a motion to adjourn. Well, can I just say two things? There's some good events next week: Democracy on Tap and Banned Book Story Hour. I know this, hopefully the school board candidates will be coming to the Banned Book Story Hour. But I also wanted to thank each and every one of you for sticking around. This was a long night. There got heated at times. I appreciate it. We mostly kept it together. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your participation. And we will hopefully see you out soon on the campaign trail. All right. Thank you, guys. Next time I'll drink to his with me. I know, I just like, I should start drinking before this meeting.
I get that. One year, the meeting, we said we're gonna accept changes or motions in the village, or we're not. What's- I'm just saying. No, it's the one thing. I know, I think you did that job, just saying, with the points that was last year. Because every time. Yeah, okay.
I'm not saying I was very perfect. I was trying to get it best that I could. Hey, thanks for having me. Thank you. What? It's all right. It's all right. It's all good.
I feel great. I left you a voicemail and now I know what's been going on for you the last.
This is your first time. Sorry, I did not.
No.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. But now I can see.
Yeah, there was a lot of crazy.
So I would like to build it on for.
Amazing. Awesome. Let me get your contact info. Sorry, what was your name again?
Lori.